Green Bear, we're ready to start.
Do you have the flag?
Yes, I have the flag.
But you gotta wave it.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah, okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, all right, he's gonna make an entrance. All right, flag is waving. I'm just here waiting.
My fellow Americans, it is I, Green Bear, your future president of these United States of America.
Oh, hold up, Green Bear.
Wait, I just got started with my campaign speech.
I know, but this isn't about the president. This book is all about the courageous first ladies who changed the world.
Oh, I already picked out my first lady.
I know.
How do you know? Who told you?
You did?
I forgot. Yeah, she's really pretty.
I know. She's a teacher that Green Bear sort of went gaga for. She's a first grade teacher.
Yeah, she's super smart and cute.
So I figured that when she becomes first lady, she's probably going to be all about education and stuff like that. And her name is...
No, you can't say her name. You can't say her name.
Oh, well, why not?
Because, storyteller, paparazzi. I gotta protect my first lady. Bam, 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 bam.
Very thoughtful of him. But, well, first lady, you know who you are. Now let's see the courageous first ladies who changed the world. Now, something that's super interesting before we even start is that when we began as a country and we had our first president and our first lady, women couldn't even vote yet. But they still had found ways to make their voices heard and to make changes in the world, because you can still do that whether you have the power position or not. So here we go. Courageous first ladies who changed the world. Let's see if you find who your favorite's going to be. Martha Washington. I have learned that the greater part of our misery or unhappiness is determined not by our circumstance, but by our disposition. Ooh, that is super wise. She's saying that if we're happy, it's not about what's around us, but how we see the world. Sort of like your own point of view. You can choose to be happy or sad. You can choose to see glass half full or glass half empty. I know which one I would choose. Empty all the way. Well, she chooses to not be happy, so. Martha grew up working on a farm with 6 younger siblings. That's a lot. She learned that anything a boy could do, she could do too. During the Revolutionary War, Martha showed great courage. She came to winter camps, nursed sick soldiers, and brainstormed strategies. As the First Lady, Martha welcomed to her home anyone who wanted to discuss the new country. That's right. So when George Washington was out there, she was out there too with the men, whereas usually the women stayed home. Not Martha. No way, Jose. She was in on the action. Abigail Adams. She was First Lady number 2. Remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. That is what she told John Adams, because she wanted to make sure that women's voices were heard too. Because again, remember how I mentioned that ladies back then could not vote? So she's saying, hey, remember us, include us in, think about our needs and our ideas and our plans. Abigail's parents taught her to visit the sick, feed the hungry, and bring clothes to the cold. Bring clothes to the cold. Maybe clothes to people who needed clothes? Or wear extra clothes when it's cold? When Abigail married John Adams, she didn't know that one day she would be Mrs. President. Grateful for her big heart and smart mind, she is famous for being a seriously big brain. John Adams would regularly ask Abigail for ideas. She wanted women to have rights in their new country and taught her children to fight against slavery. Dolly Madison. Habit and hope are the crutches which support us through the vicissitudes of life. Ah, vicissitudes. Big, fat, beautiful word. What does it mean? Vicissitudes are when things go up and down and up and down. You know, life is sometimes like you're super great and then you're super not great and then everything's awesome and then you're like, nah. Like that, vicissitudes of life. So habit, staying habitually on your path, and hope are the things that get you not only through the good times, but also the rough times. See? So we just have to be steady through it all. Dolly helped her mother run a boarding house to earn money. That's where she met James Madison, who later became her husband and the President of the United States. Dolly loved discussing the needs of the country. "What do you think about this?" she'd ask. "What should we do about that?" She invited leaders to her home often and held the first inaugural ball. In 1812, when the White House was on fire, it was on fire, Dolly made sure an important portrait of George Washington was saved. That's right. If you didn't know it already, the White House was on fire. Fortunately, it's since been repaired. Eleanor Roosevelt. She's super famous. "You must do the thing you think you cannot do." I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You can do the thing, even if you think it's hard or impossible. As Walt Disney said, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. Eleanor was just 9 years old when she became an orphan and went to live with her grandmother. It was a lonely childhood with lots of time to think, but she studied hard and learned about all kinds of ideas. In her time as First Lady, and they don't mention it, but she was married to FDR, and he was a president during World War II. That's right. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. That's what FDR stands for. In her time as First Lady, Eleanor fought for fair pay, equal rights, good living conditions, and better treatment for workers. Some people say she was the most important First Lady in history. And you see her here in front of the microphones. She even had a radio show. And that was something that First Ladies had never done. So she was definitely doing all kinds of brand new things. And why was she talking on the radio? To spread ideas and inspiration and hope. Jacqueline Kennedy. There are many little ways to enlarge your child's world. Love of books is the best of all. Way! That's right. She was all about the book reading. She would have loved KidTime StoryTime. Jackie always had a gift with language. Her essays and poems were published in newspapers, and she could speak English, French, Spanish, and Italian. I wish I could speak 4 languages. I only speak like 2.5, and a little bit of owl, and a little bit of cat. I'm still picking up my languages. While in the White House, Jackie helped her husband, John F. Kennedy, write inspiring speeches to rally the country. Her love of the arts brought opera, dance, Shakespeare, and even the Mona Lisa to the Capitol. The American people loved Jackie's sense of style and elegance. Yeah, she's very famous for her personal clothing style, but also her artistic style. Isn't it awesome that she brought opera and dancing and art and theater to the White House? They had some amazing concerts. Betty Ford. The search for human freedom can never be complete without freedom for women. Betty Ford often went with her mother to help children who couldn't walk on their own, and she learned a lot about how people should be treated. When she became First Lady, Gerald Ford was her husband, Betty fought for equal pay for everyone. She created a place for people who struggled with addictions. Now, this was like crazy. Nobody talked about that stuff back then when people got addicted to things, that's so hard for them to get okay and get healthy again. And she was the first to openly talk about it and make it okay for people to seek help. So she opened up about her own struggles with cancer, also something that people back then never talked about, and letting the country know that it was okay to have weaknesses or to be sick, and it was okay to get help. In fact, that it was necessary to get help. And there she is fighting for women's rights and equal rights amendment. Lady Bird Johnson. She was married to LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. Where flowers bloom, so does hope. Claudia's nanny once said she was as pretty as a lady bird. That nickname stuck. Oh, see, we found out that her name, Lady Bird, was really Claudia. I didn't even know that. The nickname stuck, and one of Lady Bird's favorite things to do was paddle on the lake near her home. Lady Bird's love of the outdoors only grew as First Lady. She was committed to making the Capitol beautiful. She planted millions of flowers along the roads and made sure that areas with natural beauty and wildlife were kept safe for everyone to enjoy. Laura and Barbara Bush. Now this is kind of cool because they were not mother and daughter. They were mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, right? They were both, okay, I'm kidding. I know, my head is swimming now. So Barbara Bush was First Lady, and then because her husband was a president, George Bush, and then George W. Bush, their son, became president. So then Laura Bush, the daughter-in-law, became. Oh, okay, you got me right. You follow? I think I confused you. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay. Never lose sight of the fact that the most important yardstick of your success will be how you treat other people. Meaning, people will see and say if you're a good person based on how you treat other people, right? That's why we always talk about being kind and stuff like that. Because if you're mean to other people, then people are going to think you're a mean person. And you kind of are if you're mean. But if you're kind and you treat people well, no matter who they are or where they come from or how they look or if they're different from you, that's okay. That is the right thing to do. Barbara spent many evenings reading together with her family. Her love of books came with her all the way to the White House, and she was a huge advocate for literacy reading. As First Lady, Barbara wanted every child to know how to read. Barbara's son George later became president like his dad, and George's wife Laura followed Barbara's lead when she became First Lady. As a second grade teacher and school librarian, hey librarians, Laura knew that teaching children could change the world. We know that here too. Hillary Clinton. It is past time for women to take their rightful place side by side with men in the rooms where the fates of people, where their children's and grandchildren's fates are decided. Hillary once saw a group collecting money for the poor. She made a backyard carnival for her neighborhood kids and donated all the dimes and nickels she earned. Then, as First Lady, Hillary argued for changes that would help women and children. She also became a state senator and Secretary of State. In 2016, Hillary came closer than any woman in history to becoming president of the United States. She was married to Bill Clinton, and as of this reading in 2021, we haven't had a female president, but she came really close. Michelle Obama. There are still many causes worth sacrificing for, so much history yet to be made. Michelle did so well in school that she was able to skip a grade and graduate early. You know, I always wanted to do that, but I did not. She loved learning and was accepted to one of the best universities in the world, Princeton. Michelle was a lawyer when her husband, Barack, became the first African-American president in U.S. history. As First Lady, she focused on raising her two daughters and helping our country get fit. She championed exercise and healthy eating and planted the first White House garden. And there we see her holding all her organic veggies and stuff. So she was all about getting fit. Also, she has amazing arms that are kind of inspiring to like sit there and work out. And those were the first ladies who made a difference. And the book asks us a pretty good question. What kind of hero will you be? And of course, there are so many more first ladies. They couldn't fit them all into this little book. But this gives us a good glimpse of how so many ladies made a huge difference in the world, even without being able to be president, but you can still make a big difference, and they sure did for our country.
I can't wait for my First Lady to be like those First Ladies that were all about the books.
Yes, I know. Your First Lady's going to be all about the books too, I bet.
Yeah. She loves KidTime StoryTime. And she loves reading, and she loves kids, and she's super smart. Did I mention she's super cute?
You did mention she's super cute.
Yeah, I can't wait for you all to meet her. But until then, please remember to vote Green Bear for president. And I mean, I know I'm not old enough right now, but one day, wait, where's my flag?
Oh, sorry, it's right here. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so remember to vote me for president. And I know that I can't run like right now because I'm still too small. Right, Storyteller?
Yeah, still a little bit too young.
But when I'm big, I'm gonna be the first Green Bear president of these United States, and I will represent everybody, girls and boys and bears and giraffes and unicorns.
You don't have to name them all.
And owls and hippos and other stuff. So please remember to vote for me and to always be courageous, and remember that you can change the world even if you're not president, but especially me because I'm going to be president.
Yeah, that's pretty true. You can still change the world, whether you're president or not. All right, kid, remember, be courageous. And see you next time on KidTime StoryTime. You can visit us anytime at KidTimeStoryTime.com, where we like to hang out. You can pick up some free music while you're there.
Yeah, you can hear me rap. It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. See you next time, kid, on KidTime StoryTime.